Something that seems to have a lot of Boruto fans scratching their heads in confusion is the overpowered ability known as Omnipotence. What exactly is Omnipotence? How does it work? How much can it actually accomplish? And what are its inherent weaknesses when it's wielded by Eida? I plan to answer these questions based off everything we've been told so far up until chapter 1 of Boruto to Blue Vortex, as well as discuss some of the gray areas that we can only speculate about for now. So let's start with what Omnipotence is and what it supposedly does. According to Momoshiki in chapter 79, Omnipotence is an ultimate power that can only be wielded by an all-knowing, almighty god. The genjutsu of Shinjutsu, a programming language that gods were said to have used to create worlds, the will to make anything real. That is what Omnipotence is. And as paraphrased by Eida in chapter 1 of Boruto to Blue Vortex, Omnipotence is a type of otsutsuki Shinjutsu that makes one's desires real. Eida's love charm is simply the result of her subconscious desires made material by Omnipotence, while this role reversal is simply Kawaki's desire made reality by Omnipotence. If you want something to happen, Omnipotence can theoretically make it reality within certain limitations. But how exactly does Omnipotence accomplish this? According to Momoshiki, when explaining how people's memories were altered so that Boruto and Kawaki switched positions, he says that every person's consciousness is by nature linked through chakra, so it's not impossible for a god to meddle with it if they so choose. The implication here is that Omnipotence alters people's chakra in order to alter their consciousnesses and thus their memories, which is extremely similar to how genjutsu works, as a genjutsu user controls the chakra flowing through their opponent's cranial nerves when they put them under genjutsu. And when you actually consider the effects of Eida's love charm and the Boruto and Kawaki role reversal, it's incredibly similar to a mass-scale Kodo Amatsukami, which was Shizui Uchiha's special Mangekyo Sharingan ability that allowed him to control someone without them even realizing they're in a genjutsu. It makes them think that they're operating under their own free will and that their thoughts are all their own. And in the Itachi Midnight novel, it's literally described as rewriting the mind of the one who is affected. The main difference between Omnipotence and a genjutsu like Kodo Amatsukami is that you cannot just undo the effects of Omnipotence by disrupting your chakra flow the way you normally do to release a genjutsu. You would need someone to use Omnipotence again to undo whatever they did previously, kinda similar to how Itachi needed to use Kodo Amatsukami to break Kabuto's control over him, and how Kabuto needed to rewrite the Edo Tensei commands on Itachi to break Kodo Amatsukami's control over Itachi. You would have to go back and forth with Omnipotence in a similar manner. And just like Kodo Amatsukami, you cannot defy the command given by Omnipotence. It will force you to follow that command, whatever that specific command is. Let's use the role reversal as an example. The command in this case is simply to swap everyone's memories of Boruto and Kawaki. Everything Boruto did up until chapter 79 is now what Kawaki did, and everything Kawaki did up until chapter 79 is now what Boruto did. Now, as explained by Sarada in this latest chapter, everyone initially noticed the plot holes in their memories, like how Kawaki's body was somehow remodeled by Kara, even though he supposedly grew up in the Leaf Village, and how Momoshiki was suddenly just gone all of a sudden. Sarada even says that Shikamaru hounded Kawaki about that, but that slight unease also slowly dissipated over time, thanks to Omnipotence, so that now, no one has any doubts left. Now, this wasn't just shoehorned into the story in this latest chapter. We also saw this exact same thing with Sasuke in chapter 80. As he says, that headband, it's the one I gave to Kawaki, yet you have it for some reason. And that's not all. I know you're there, Momoshiki Otsutsuki. You should be inside Kawaki, so why are you here? Several things are troubling me, but at the same time, I can actively feel in my mind, each thing drastically bothering me less and less. It's quite terrifying. I never gave it a thought until now, how completely undependable my own memories might be. Sasuke points out the clear contradictions between his memories and what he's currently witnessing and how it's troubling him, but despite that, each thing is drastically bothering him less and less. This is because Omnipotence is telling Sasuke that these aren't actually contradictions. Sure, Boruto might have Sasuke's headband and Momoshiki now, but Sasuke's memories are still correct. He did in fact give Kawaki that headband, and Momoshiki was in fact inside Kawaki previously. From Shikamaru's perspective, it's weird how Kawaki's body has been modified by Kara and he no longer has Momoshiki anymore, but he definitely did grow up in the Leaf Village and he definitely did have Momoshiki previously, so something else must have happened recently. If there's one thing they are certain of, it's that Kawaki is Kawaki Uzumaki, who's Naruto and Hinata's son. Himawari's brother, Sasuke's student, and a member of Team 7. And Boruto is an outsider from Kara who Naruto took in, and he still tried to kill his brother Kawaki and even his father Naruto. Everything after that point can be explained in one way or another. Maybe they think it's all Amato's fault. Amato is a really easy scapegoat for Shikamaru and the Leaf Villagers because he's a former member of Kara who's extremely sus and actually did all the body modifying, so they could blame him for secretly modifying Kawaki's body behind their backs while he was in the Leaf Village or something like that. Now let's look at Eida's love charm next. The command in this case appears to be something along the lines of, "You will love me too much to be able to kill me yourself no matter how badly you want to." Given that most of Eida's captives have an obvious crush on her and all of Eida's captives are unable to kill her whether they want to or not. Simply loving Eida wouldn't be enough to prevent everyone from being able to kill her, given that Itachi was able to kill his parents who we loved, and his lover Izumi who we loved. Kawaki attempted to kill Boruto who he supposedly loves as a brother. Hashirama intended to kill his best friend Madara and was willing to kill anyone who threatened the village, be it a friend, sibling, parent, or even his own child, because he loved his village more than anything else, and so on. People will sacrifice something they love if it's to protect something they love even more. Using Shikamaru as an example, he clearly loves the Leaf Village more than he loves Eida, given that he told Sarada and Sumire in chapter 76 that, if in the future Konoha were to determine that Eida is an enemy, the ones to bring her down may very well be you two. Shikamaru is capable of telling Sarada and Sumire to kill Eida if he determines her to be a threat to the village, as he's literally giving them permission to do so in this chapter, meaning he can order Eida's disposal if he feels the need to. However, he is unable to actually carry out this task himself, as we see very clearly in chapter 69. He can want it, he can order it, but he can't do it himself, because the command written by Omnipotence specifically prevents Eida's captives from killing her no matter what. As explained by Amato in chapter 69, Eida's enchantment affects you on an instinctual, unconscious level. So even if you want to kill Eida in your head, like Code did in chapter 57, your instinct will reject that thought and prevent you from doing so. This same concept applies to the role reversal as well. Even if you start to doubt your memories, your instincts will reject that thought and make you trust your memories. It all boils down to what the specific command is. But how does Omnipotence even do this? It all comes back to Momoshiki's explanation of the role reversal. Omnipotence can meddle with everyone's consciousness and instincts via their chakra. It can quite literally rewrite people's instincts however the caster desires. It is everyone's instinct to not kill Eida, the same way that it's everyone's instinct to eat, drink, sleep, and reproduce. It's everyone's instinct to love Eida whether they find her attractive or not. It's everyone's instinct to think Kawaki lived Boruto's life and Boruto lived Kawaki's life, whether it actually makes logical sense or not. If Eida hypothetically used Omnipotence to make the whole world hate Himawari, it wouldn't matter how many nice and likable things Himawari does. Everyone would still instinctually hate her. This is precisely why Sarada's plan to tell the village about Omnipotence would fail. It's not that they wouldn't be able to understand the concept of Omnipotence, it's that they instinctually wouldn't be able to believe that their memories are wrong. If Sarada were to explain Omnipotence in reference to Eida's love charm, Shikamaru would totally be able to understand the concept. However, that doesn't mean he'll magically be able to kill Eida now. He already knows that Eida enchants him on an instinctual level and that's why he can't kill her. But that doesn't change the fact that he still can't kill her. That's what's so scary about Omnipotence. Even if Eida herself told Shikamaru that she rewrote Shikamaru's memories, he would still instinctually believe his new rewritten memories because Omnipotence commands him to do so. They simply cannot defy the specific commands written by Omnipotence, similar to how you can't defy the commands written by Koto Matsukami while you're under the genjutsu. You will truly believe that you're thinking your own thoughts and acting under your own free will. Omnipotence just can't be broken in a simple manner like a genjutsu can. However, all of this is only one type of application of Omnipotence. Eida's desires were focused on how people viewed her, and Kawaki's desires were focused on how people viewed himself and Boruto. But Momoshiki also says that Omnipotence is a programming language that gods were said to have used to create worlds. Creating a world is not a matter of altering people's consciousnesses, it's a physical manifestation. So if Eida really desired a basketball court outside her house, she theoretically could will that basketball court into existence based on Momoshiki's description. This application of Omnipotence sounds an awful lot like Hagoromo's creation of all things technique that uses yin and yang release, which allowed Naruto to just create a new eye for Kakashi, and the 6th path Chibaku Tensei also uses yin and yang power and ultimately created the current moon floating around Earth, which is essentially just a smaller scale version of creating a world. A planet is a body that orbits a star, while a moon is a body that orbits a planet. So just as the Izanagi is a jutsu that can make fantasy reality and is simply an application of Hagoromo's creation of all things jutsu, the creation of all things jutsu in yin and yang release jutsu in general very well might simply be applications of omnipotence. You may have also noticed that the verbal description of omnipotence sounds incredibly similar to what Jigen promised to the inner members of Kara, as he was supposedly going to grant them a wish for helping him find a new vessel and grow a chakra fruit. To grant someone's wish is the same as to make their desires real, so it's possible that Ishiki intended to acquire the Shinjutsu Omnipotence or a derivative of it, like the creation of all things jutsu once he ate the chakra fruit. Or alternatively, he was just capping about granting everyone's wishes. Who knows? The reason I'm bringing all of this up though, is to say that omnipotence might be the ultimate form of chakra manipulation, which is fitting for the so-called genjutsu of Shinjutsu. This allows the user to will into existence anything they want using their chakra. You can use your chakra to create a basketball court, a new eye for Kakashi, a moon, or even an entire world. This application of omnipotence is similar to a ridiculously godly ninjutsu. Like I said, it sounds pretty much exactly like the creation of all things technique. You can also manipulate the chakra of other people as well to alter their consciousnesses however you please, allowing you to charm them, change their memories, and so on. This application of omnipotence is similar to a ridiculously godly genjutsu. It's essentially a Kodomatsu Kami on steroids that's just too strong to break. Now so far we've covered what omnipotence is and how it appears to work, but how much can it actually accomplish? The answer is a lot. You have the ability to alter everyone's consciousness around the world and in other dimensions as you please, and you can supposedly create worlds and most likely do anything Hagoromo's creation of all things jutsu did. That's a lot. However, as insanely overpowered as this Shinjutsu is, that doesn't mean it doesn't have some limitations. Momoshiki makes it explicitly clear that omnipotence does not affect the otsutsukified like Boruto and Kawaki, nor its caster which was Eida. We also know that Damon is also immune to omnipotence supposedly because he's Eida's blood relative, and obviously regular Otsutsuki like Momoshiki and Ishiki are immune too. There also appears to be more exceptions to whom omnipotence can affect, given that Sarada and Sumire are also immune, and Momoshiki doesn't seem to know why that is, but we'll save that discussion for another video. What this tells us though, is that omnipotence can actually do anything and everything. For one reason or another, the caster cannot use omnipotence to alter themselves, and they cannot alter Otsutsuki, the Otsutsukified, or their blood relatives either. This means that Eida probably can't turn herself into a 60-meter tall colossal titan from Attack on Titan, no matter how badly she desires it, since that would require her to use omnipotence on herself, which would contradict what Momoshiki says. Likewise, she can't turn Boruto into a giant because he's now an Otsutsuki who can't be affected by omnipotence either. Now it's unclear as to whether Eida can theoretically do whatever she wants to non-Otsutsuki and non-blood relatives. Can she just permanently turn Konohamaru into Kawaki, giving him the exact same appearance, personality, memories, and abilities if she desires it badly enough? Maybe, maybe not. It's tough to say for sure, and largely depends on how literally we want to take Momoshiki's words, which probably shouldn't be taken too literally given that he was supposedly just wrong about Boruto's prophecy. Anyway though, I've talked about omnipotence pretty generally so far, so now I want to discuss the weakness of omnipotence when it's wielded by Eida based on the two situations in which she's used it so far. As I explained earlier, in both the love charm and role reversal cases, omnipotence forces its captives to obey a specific command given when the jutsu is launched. This command then remains unless Eida uses omnipotence again to overwrite that command. However, as we've seen with Eida's love charm, just because she doesn't like that command doesn't negate its effect. She has to actually use omnipotence again in order to rewrite that command, but Eida herself cannot actually control this power as pointed out by Momoshiki. Every time she's used it, it's more or less been on accident, meaning she can't just keep spamming omnipotence over and over again on a whim willy-nilly. So what is this weakness I'm getting at then? It's the specificity of the command. You can't defy the specific command, but you can still work around the command in a way that generally opposes the original purpose of that command. That might sound pretty vague, so let me use the love charm and role reversals as examples. Eida's love charm specifically prevents Shikamaru from killing Eida himself. However, it doesn't prevent him from telling someone who's immune to Eida like Boruto, Kawaki, Sarada, or Sumire to do it for him. The command clearly doesn't prevent him from doing so, given that he literally told Sarada and Sumire in chapter 76 that, if Eida becomes a threat to the village, they might have to be the ones to take her down, since they're the only ones besides Boruto and Kawaki who can actually kill her. He's giving them permission to kill her if it comes down to it in this chapter. Similarly, just because you can't kill Eida doesn't mean you can't immobilize her and render her useless like Boruto seemingly did before Code and Bug awakened her from her pod. Eida was trapped in there, never to escape without someone else's help. And even people who were captivated by her like Boruto and Bug still didn't want to set her free. It took someone like Code who specifically wanted to use her powers to his advantage to set her free. The purpose of the command seems to be to make people love her and not hurt her, but there are still ways to kill her or render her useless. So now let's take a look at the role reversal. I plan to make a whole video breaking this weakness down from a narrative standpoint, so I won't get too in-depth here, but the specific command was for people's memories of Boruto and Kawaki to be switched. So Kawaki is Kawaki Uzumaki, who grew up in the Leaf Village, while Boruto is just Boruto, who came from Kara and was taken in by Naruto, but he still attacked Naruto and tried to kill his brother Kawaki too. The command is not for everyone to love Kawaki no matter what, nor is it for them to hate Boruto no matter what. It's simply for Boruto to be Kawaki, and Kawaki to be Boruto in their memories. However, this command only affects how people viewed Boruto and Kawaki up until chapter 79 when Omnipotence was used. Everything that happens in the present and in the future is not directly influenced by Omnipotence. So what does this mean? It means that moving forward, Boruto can just earn everyone's forgiveness and gain favor with the Leaf Village once again. The same way that Sasuke eventually did despite committing objectively worse crimes than Kawaki did, as Sasuke first left the village and became a rogue ninja to join Orochimaru, who was an infamous rogue ninja who performed inhumane experiments on countless villagers, joined the Akatsuki, killed the Kazekage, killed the Hokage, and attempted to destroy the Leaf Village. Then Sasuke joined the Akatsuki, a notorious criminal organization, and invaded the Cloud Village in the attempt to capture the 8-Tails Jinchuriki Killer Bee. Then he invaded the 5-Kage Summit where he killed countless samurai and fought against the Raikage, Kazekage, Mizukage, Tsuchikage, and eventually killed the longtime village elder and soon-to-be official Hokage Danzo. Then he helped stop Obito, Madara, and Kage in the 4th Great Ninja War, but proceeded to turn on everyone and attempt to kill the 5 Kage, feudal lords, tail beasts, and his best friend Naruto, who was one of the primary heroes of the war in order to start a revolution. Despite everything Sasuke did, he was eventually able to generally gain favor with the world once again with the help of Naruto and Kakashi, and by proving himself through his actions moving forward. If Sasuke can do that, so can Boruto. He is Sasuke's student after all. We've also seen Naruto go from being heavily despised by the villagers to being loved by the villagers, and we've seen Boruto go from being loved by the villagers to being scorned by the villagers for cheating in the Chunin exams to being loved by the villagers again when he helped Sasuke and the Kage save Naruto and defeat Momoshiki. Boruto just needs to prove himself. On top of that, all the Leaf villagers knew in chapter 78 was that Kawaki did something to Naruto and Hinata. Eida said that they were swallowed up in some sort of vortex, but she never said that Naruto and Hinata were killed by it. Kawaki didn't lie about Boruto killing Naruto until after Omnipotence was used, meaning the villagers are not forced to instinctively believe that Naruto is dead. This is exactly why Himawari is able to believe that Naruto is still alive, despite what Kawaki and Eida said. It's not ingrained in her instincts to believe that Naruto is dead. Similarly, the Leaf villagers are not forced to believe that Boruto is a bad guy. They think he is because he attacked Kawaki in their memories, and Kawaki and Eida also said that Boruto killed Naruto, but they are physically capable of believing that Boruto didn't do this out of malicious intent. This is exactly why Himawari is still able to trust Boruto, because she would have trusted Kawaki anyway, even if their roles were never reversed. Like I said, Boruto can simply prove that he's a good guy who's been misunderstood, just as Himawari believes to be the case. Similarly, even if Sasuke doesn't trust Boruto because of his memories, that doesn't mean he can't trust his daughter Sarada more than he trusts himself. He literally tells Boruto that he's not helping Boruto because he believes Boruto. He's helping Boruto because his daughter wishes it, and Sasuke believes in his daughter more than he believes in himself. And so he asks Boruto to prove Sasuke wrong and validate Sarada. All Boruto needs to do is exactly that. Prove that Boruto is who he says he is through his actions, just as Sasuke told him to do. The purpose of Kawaki's desire was for everyone to hate Boruto and not get in his way of killing Boruto, but there's still room for Boruto to work around this and make everyone love him again. Furthermore, this doesn't mean that Kawaki can't do something that makes the villagers despise him. They might come to hate Kawaki's aggressiveness and unwillingness to listen to others the same way they did previously, and if he ever attacks someone like Sarada for getting in his way of killing Boruto, the Leaf Village still might scorn Kawaki for the act of attacking one of his comrades, the same way they scorned Sasuke for his criminal acts in Shippuden, despite seeing him as one of their comrades in the past. The specificity of Kawaki's desire is going to be his downfall. His desire was for Boruto to be an outsider just like him, and that's exactly what happened, and that's exactly why he'll fail, but I'll save the specific foreshadowing of this for my next video. I think that about sums up everything we know and can speculate about Omnipotence so far, and before anyone says anything, yes, when Shibai wields Omnipotence, a lot of this isn't a big deal because he can simply use Omnipotence again, assuming he has total control over his power. So whenever things aren't going his way, he can simply change things in his favor. Eida, however, cannot do that at the moment because she doesn't have control over this power, which I personally find much more enjoyable to see play out because despite just how overpowered this ability is, we still get to watch it be defeated as its weaknesses are exposed, the same way we got to see Itachi expose the weakness of Kabuto's Edo Tensei and ultimately defeat it despite how overpowered it was. I absolutely love watching characters dismantle their enemies' abilities and figure out their weaknesses despite how overpowered their abilities might be. So I have absolutely no complaints here, but I want to hear what you guys think. How do you feel about the Shinjutsu Omnipotence overall? Do you like the way it works as I've broken it down, and do you like its weaknesses when wielded by Eida? And do you think the ability is too overpowered, or do you think it's just right? Let me know in the comment section below, but that's a wrap on today's video, so thank you guys for watching until the end. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, like the video, check out my podcast channel, check out my group channel, become a member, and hit the bell icon for notifications.
Sorry, Sasuke. Maybe some other time.
Have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.